Imagine an AI that doesn't just talk, but actually, works while you sleep.
Oh, yeah. That is the dream, right?
Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fundamental difference between having a simple chat with an AI and building a functioning, independent system. If you want a digital employee, you basically have to build it a workspace.
Precisely. And that's exactly what we are doing today with Claude Cowork.
Right. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are exploring building your first Claude Cowork agent. We're going to cover the setup, the folder logic, and the automation steps.
Yeah, you probably use Claude every day. But honestly, you're likely using it wrong. Or at least, you're only scratching the surface.
Totally.
Today is a literal roadmap for moving beyond that traditional chat box. We're going to explore how you can use Cowork to build a real, functional, daily AI news dashboard.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when I first heard about Cowork, I honestly thought it was just, I don't know, another UI update.
Right, like just a visual thing.
Yep, exactly. Another place to type a question. But Cowork is totally different. It's built for repeatable, file-based jobs. It lives inside your folders.
Mm-hmm.
It reads, it writes, and it saves documents, rather than just existing in a fleeting conversation window where you have to, constantly copy and paste everything.
What's fascinating here is the shift in computing behavior. Like, we are all used to standard Claude chat.
Which is great, obviously.
Oh, it's fantastic for quick brainstorming, drafting a single email, or just answering a one-off question. But to transition from getting one-time help to building automated business workflows,
Right.
you are no longer a conversational partner.
Right.
You are a systems architect.
I love that.
Yeah.
A systems architect. So if I'm playing that role, what are my actual building materials? Let's talk prerequisites for you guys listening. First, you need the Claude desktop app installed.
Yes.
This isn't running in a browser tab. Second, you need a paid plan. Pro is the bare minimum here.
And we should probably explain exactly why that free tier simply won't cut it.
Yeah, please do.
So Cowork workflows inherently require much higher usage limits and significantly more processing context.
Right.
When you run a dashboard workflow, the AI is reading multiple files. It's cross-referencing your instructions against several external articles, and it's generating heavily formatted outputs.
It's doing a lot at once.
Exactly. It needs a massive working memory to hold all that data simultaneously.
That makes total sense. And that actually brings up what I like to call the workspace golden rule. You need a dedicated workspace folder on your actual computer.
Yes, absolutely.
You might name it something like Claude Cowork News Dashboard.
Right.
But I want to make a hard stop right here because the temptation is just to give the AI access to everything.
Oh, big mistake.
Do not just point Claude at your whole computer or your entire documents folder. That is like letting a brand new intern rifle through all your personal filing cabinets, your tax returns, your family photos, just to find a single press release.
Yeah, that is an incredibly dangerous trap for new users.
It really is.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of how language models operate, giving the AI too much access just creates massive confusion.
Right, because it's reading everything.
Exactly. Every time it reads an irrelevant file, it eats up its processing context, its working memory. It has to sift through your grocery lists and old spreadsheets just to figure out what a news update means.
Wow.
That dilutes its focus. You want to isolate the workspace so the AI only sees exactly what it needs to execute the task. Nothing more, nothing less.
And speaking of focus, you also have to dictate which underlying model is actually doing the processing. The sources are very clear about using the strongest model available for research tasks. So we are talking about using something like Claude 3.5 Opus or Sonnet rather than the faster, lighter Haiku model, right?
Yes, precision matters immensely here. When you ask an AI to analyze multiple sources, rank them, and synthesize the information, you are fighting against a phenomenon called prompt drift.
Wait, prompt drift. Explain prompt drift for me.
Sure. Think of it like a game of telephone happening inside the AI's own head. Over the course of a complex, multi-step task, a weaker model slowly forgets or misinterprets the original instructions.
Oh, I've seen that happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It might start out strong on the first 2 articles, perfectly applying your formatting, but by the time it reads the 10th article, its working memory is stretched, and it starts hallucinating, summarizing things in the wrong tone, or just, completely ignoring your formatting rules.
That's so frustrating.
It is. So using the strongest model provides the immense cognitive stamina required to hold onto your rules from start to finish.
Got it. So you've restricted the AI's access to your tax returns, and you've selected a model with enough stamina to avoid drifting off course.
Right.
Now you actually have to build the physical structure inside that isolated folder.
Exactly. Think of the folder structure like an assembly line in a factory. To get this digital employee working smoothly, you need 3 main folders on that assembly line.
Okay, what are they?
You need About, Outputs, and Templates.
I have to admit, creating 3 separate folders and a bunch of markdown files just to get a news summary feels incredibly tedious.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It really does.
Yeah.
Why can't I just paste a massive 3-page prompt into the regular Claude chat window every morning and get the exact same result?
Well, because copying and pasting a massive prompt every day isn't a system, it's a chore.
Fair point.
If you put all your rules into a chat prompt, that knowledge vanishes the moment you close the window.
Yeah.
By building this structure on your hard drive, you are creating permanence. The About folder serves as the permanent blueprint for the assembly line.
Yeah.
The Templates folder is the mold. If you don't build the track correctly and permanently, the robotic arm Claude just flails around in the dark every single time you start a new session.
Okay, that clarifies it. We are trading upfront effort for long-term automation.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Exactly.
So let's look at that blueprint, the About folder. Our sources say this is where you store the high-signal rules that filter out the noise before the AI even begins to work.
Yes. The internet is filled with garbage data.
So much garbage.
Left to its own devices, an AI will try to summarize all of it. The files in your About folder are your hard filters to prevent that.
Let's walk through those filters. First up is your source list.-md file. And in this file, you explicitly limit the AI to 5 to 8 trusted sources. You organize them by priority. Priority 1 is official company blogs like Anthropic or OpenAI. Priority 2 is research repositories like Hugging Face. Priority 3 is general business and tech news.
Right.
But I'm looking at this limitation and wondering why handcuff the AI? Why not just say, search the whole internet for AI news today?
Because a highly curated source list produces dramatically cleaner reports.
Okay.
If you tell an AI to search the entire web, it will pull from SEO, spam sites, unverified Reddit threads, and, out-of-date opinion blogs.
That's true.
By restricting it to, say, 5 official URLs, you are guaranteeing the data quality. You are also explicitly instructing it do not treat rumors as facts.
Okay, so we've restricted the sources. But even within 5 trusted official sites, there's a ton of garbage.
Oh, absolutely.
Companies publish marketing fluff all the time. How do we stop the AI from summarizing a minor interface tweak like it's a major technological breakthrough?
That brings us to the second file in your About folder, the dashboard rules.md file.
Okay.
This is where you define consequence. You instruct the AI to rank every single news item on a strict scale of 1 to 5 based on practical impact and urgency.
So how does that play out in a real scenario? Let's say OpenAI drops a massive new model upgrade, but on the exact same day, they also release a minor bug fix for their billing page.
In a standard chat prompt, the AI might just give you 2 bullet points of equal length, treating both events as equal news.
Right.
But with your dashboard rules file, the AI is forced to pause and evaluate. It looks at the massive model upgrade, sees that it alters capabilities, and scores it a 5.
Okay.
It looks at the billing bug fix, realizes it has 0 impact on output quality, and scores it a 1. Your rules can then dictate only include items that score a 3 or higher in the final report. You've just built an automated editorial filter.
You're forcing the AI to have editorial judgment based on your criteria. I see. But even if it picks the right stories, there's still the problem of how it actually talks.
Yes, the tone.
Which leads to the third file in the blueprint, the writingstyle.md file.
Yes, and this might be the most crucial file for long-term readability. You use this strict writing style file to enforce clear, direct, human-sounding English.
Right.
You demand short sentences. You demand factual reporting.
And the absolute most fascinating part of this file is the banned word list.
Oh, it's so good.
You explicitly ban those cliché, exhausting AI buzzwords. You tell it under no circumstances are you allowed to use the words revolutionary, game-changing, unlock, unleash, seamless, or dive into.
This is a brilliant structural hack. AI models naturally default to marketing speak.
They really do.
Think about their training data. They have ingested millions of press releases and marketing websites. When an AI sees a product update, its highest probability predictive text pathway is to describe it as game-changing.
So what does this all mean when we ban those words? Were
Yeah.
you just making it sound less annoying?
It goes much deeper than just tone. Banning those words physically forces the model's neural network to access different, more analytical pathways to complete its sentence.
Oh, wow.
If the AI is literally prohibited from saying, a new tool will unleash your potential, it hits a roadblock. It is forced to look closer at the data and explain the actual mechanism.
That makes a lot of sense.
It has to say, this tool reduces rendering time by 40%. It completely shifts the output from passive marketing fluff to active, practical analysis.
So you're saying we have to artificially constrain the AI to make it smarter.
Yes.
We take away its favorite adjectives, so it has to rely on strong verbs and hard facts. That is a massive paradigm shift.
Okay, so we have our assembly line blueprint built. The About folder is locked.
But how does the AI actually know where to find the blueprint and what to do with it?
That is the job of global instructions. You find these in the settings menu of Cowork. Think of global instructions as the permanent laws of your workspace. They act as the traffic director.
Right, so your global instructions would read something like read the source list, the dashboard rules, and the writing style in the About folder. Use the template in the templates folder. And save the final output to the ITPU test folder.
Exactly.
But here's my question. If we went through all the trouble to write these complex rules, why do the sources explicitly warn us to keep the global instructions relatively short? Why not just put the banned words right there in the main settings?
This raises an important point about system architecture. Global instructions exist only to define the workspace logic.
Okay.
If you shove your 1 to 5 ranking system, your banned words, and your source URLs into the global instructions, the cognitive load is too heavy at the top level.
I get it.
The traffic director gets overwhelmed trying to build the car while directing traffic.
Great analogy.
Keep the global instructions short so they act as a stable foundation just pointing to the folders. The complex, specific rules belong safely isolated inside those separate markdown files.
The traffic director just points. The blueprint does the heavy lifting.
Okay.
I like that. So the traffic director points the AI to the sources, filters the news through the rules, and then points it to the template.
Right.
Inside your templates folder, you have a file called iNewsDashboardTemplate.md.
Exactly. And a weak dashboard template just asks for a list of headlines. A powerful, useful dashboard demands structured, actionable intelligence.
The sources show this template dictating a very specific final output.
Yeah.
It must include an executive summary. It must display the impact scores for each item that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But the most valuable part is the requirement for content angles. It literally forces the AI to provide a newsletter idea or a LinkedIn post idea based specifically on that news item.
What's happening here is the transformation of passive information into active utility. You aren't just reading that Anthropic released a new feature. Your system is handing you immediate, actionable ways to use that news.
Which is huge.
Right. For example, if you are a developer, your template might demand a code integration angle. If you are a marketer, it demands a campaign angle. You are tailoring the news directly to your daily deliverables.
It is brilliant. We have our isolated folder. We have our assembly line built. We have our traffic directing global instructions.
Yeah.
Now it is time to flip the switch and watch this digital employee go to work. Let's talk about execution.
This is where you see the magic of the architecture you've built. You open a new task in Cowork, ensure it is pointed at your specific Claude Cowork News Dashboard workspace, and give it a simple one-line instruction.
Like what?
Just create today's daily AI news dashboard.
That's it. One sentence.
That's it. Because of all your setup, Claude knows exactly what to do. It checks the blogs on your approved source list. It evaluates the rumors versus the facts. It ranks the updates 1 to 5, it forces its neural pathways to avoid the banned words, and it formats everything into your template.
And along the way, it might pause and ask you questions, right?
Yes, and this is a vital part of the Cowork process. It might ask clarifying questions before it starts generating the final report.
Give me an example.
Well, it might say, I found 3 updates that score a 4 today. Do you want me to expand the content angles for all 3, or just focus on the top story?
Okay, that's helpful.
You should always answer these questions. Providing that context prevents the AI from making weak assumptions and filling in the gaps itself.
But I have to push back on this step. If the ultimate goal of this entire deep dive is to have this thing work while I sleep, why am I sitting here answering clarifying questions?
I know, it feels counterintuitive.
Why is this first manual run so critical? Why can't I just build my folders, set my rules, and immediately automate it to run every morning?
It's a very common impulse, but if you automate a flawed system, you just get flawed outputs faster.
Oh, that's a good point.
The manual testing phase is your safety net. It allows for early corrections before you commit to a fully automated schedule. During this first run, you watch the tool activity window.
Okay.
If the AI grabs a source that isn't on your list, or if it slips up and calls something game-changing, you catch it immediately.
And if it does make a mistake, if it hallucinates or breaks a rule, is that just the AI being stubborn?
Rarely, and this is a hard truth for a lot of users to accept. If the results feel off, it is almost always a flaw in the system design, not the AI itself.
Interesting.
It's an error in your instructions. Maybe your definition of a level 5 impact was too vague. Maybe your source list had a broken URL. The manual run lets you debug your own rules.
Okay, so we've debugged it, we tweaked the blueprint, we ran it manually, and the output is beautiful. It is short, it is actionable, it is verified, and there's no marketing fluff.
Perfect.
Now we reach the holy grail, scaling and automation.
Once your manual run is perfect, you can utilize the scheduling feature. You literally just type /schedule in the taskbar.
Wow.
You can tell Claude to run this exact dashboard workflow every single morning at 8:00 a.m.
Just typing /schedule. That feels like magic.
Yeah.
But we need to be incredibly clear about the technical reality here because this is where people get frustrated.
Yeah, there's a catch.
What are the strict requirements for a scheduled task to actually fire?
The requirements are physical. This workflow is not running on a server somewhere out in the cloud while you are disconnected. Claude Cowork operates locally.
Explain the mechanics of that. Why does my computer need to be involved if the AI lives in the cloud?
Because the AI's brain is in the cloud, but your workspace, your about folder, your templates, your outputs lives on your physical hard drive.
Right.
For the scheduled task to execute, it physically needs to access the files on your hard drive, read them into its memory, process the data, and save a new markdown file back to your local drive.
That makes sense.
If your machine is asleep, or if the desktop app is closed, the bridge between Claude's cloud brain and your local files is completely severed. The digital employee can't get into the office, so your Claude desktop app must be open and your computer must be awake.
So if your laptop is closed in your backpack at 8 a.m., the scheduled task will simply fail. You have to treat it like a real machine that needs power and access.
Precisely. But if we pull back and look at what we've accomplished, the core lesson here is profound. Good outputs come from good systems.
Absolutely.
For the past couple of years, the entire tech world has been obsessed with writing clever, complex prompts. We are finally moving away from simple prompts and moving toward robust processes. You are building an architecture, not just asking a question.
That is the perfect summary. Let's distill the actionable advice for you to take away today. You can build this. Start your first workspace folder today.
Do it.
Build your assembly line. Put in the upfront time to create your source list, your ranking rules, and your strict writing style. Keep it incredibly focused. Demand that your outputs are short and verified. And above all, do not grant the AI access to unnecessary files. Keep it strictly contained to its workspace so it doesn't get confused by your personal data. Let the machine work for you, but only on the exact terms you define.
And I'll leave you with a final thought to mull over. We just spent this time walking through how to build an AI agent that can independently read industry blogs, rank them by importance based on your custom criteria, and write a human-sounding newsletter draft while you are asleep.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what other repetitive daily digital chores in your life or your business are just waiting to be turned into a scheduled cowork folder?
What a question to leave on. The potential is massive. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into building your digital employee. We will see you next time.